What is going on, everybody? Welcome back. Today we are going to talk about the teams to use inside of Conquest Volume 19. Last week I did a video where we kind of broke down the feats in general, and I talked about what characters you can use to double or triple dip on different feats, whether they bring buffs or debuffs, or they just have synergy with different squads that you need to knock out feats. Today we're going to go more in depth and talk about the teams. And we're going to talk about what you need to get the red box here. Some feats I plan on skipping and still aiming for the red box. I'm in a pretty good spot. I think I can get the red box pretty easily, but we'll see how things pan out. I'm going to talk about the feats that you may want to skip out on, or things that are going to be a little too time consuming. There's a lot of tedium and grinding in these feats in particular. Does not look like a lot of fun, but this will unlock you Smee, which is part of the new pirate team that's coming in the next era. Smee being a territory war lifter. Personally, for me, not that great, but you know, people out there enjoy territory wars. You want to get that character going. It looks like he's going to be a good territory war character. Deals out a ton of dots. It's going to be a good time. So we're going to talk about all that in today's video. If you guys do end up enjoying this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's dive into it. And let's talk about the feats here. And we're going to go over the global ones first. The global ones, they're pretty standard. We've seen some of the stuff before. Defeat 250 enemies on the golden challenge path. That is standard. Win 20 battles with a full squad of Bad Batch. The OG Bad Batch works very well here. I do swap in one of the new Bad Batch characters onto this team just because he gets a little bit more synergy and some nice buffs here going with him as well. Attempt to stagger 80 times and attempt to inflict 300 damage over time effects. Now, we do have some feats with Lord Vader and Darth Vader. Both those are going to really help you ramp up that damage over time effects. The stagger, you're going to get some nice overlap with Sith teams. There's other Rebel characters as well that can stagger. There's Kira as a scoundrel that can stagger as well. We're going to talk about that stuff. And then you get your first of your specific feats here. Win 20 battles with a full squad of light side unaligned force users, which gets you the booming voice disc, and we'll talk about light side Ufu because there are some nice overlap with feats for them. Then call assist 60 times with booming voice, and then inflict crit damage down 80 times. Overlap here with stagger. I'll show you the team I'm talking about with this, which then gets you the deployable cooling systems modifier, which obviously gives you 15 points. So now we're going to dive into the Sector 1 feats, and this is where I'm going to start talking about teams. So our Sector 1 feats are gain evasion up 50 times, defeat 50 enemies with clone troopers, gain secret intel 60 times, and then win 20 battles with a full squad of Spectre. So where I'm falling on this is I plan on skipping the Spectre feat here because my Spectre is just, you can see it, they're not very well upgraded. I have not pursued Galactic Legend Ahsoka. I'm really in no point for that, which means obviously I'm going to be skipping out on the Ahsoka's feat as well later on in the sectors. I'm also going to be skipping out on Balin's Skull because I don't have Balin. But yeah, my Spectre is not very well built up. So this is 20 battles for only 5 points. That's a really inefficient use of energy. That's a lot of energy you're dumping to get here. Now, granted, you can use it on the Datacron matches at the end of the sector to build up that Datacron cash and the Datacron currency and everything. You can use them there if you want to, but for me, I just don't feel like dealing with trying to use an undergeared Spectre team like this. Now, there are better Spectre characters, obviously, like Padawan Sabine Wren, Galactic Legend Ahsoka Tano, obviously, but I don't have those characters built up either. This is really the best I've got right now with my Spectre team. Now, also, we talked about clone troopers and gaining evasion up. This is where Bad Batch really starts to come into play. We have this Bad Batch team here, and with Hunter and his lead, they gain crit avoidance while they have evasion up. His Shroud approach gives evasion up to his whole team. This should go pretty quickly. You can use this. You can use the other Bad Batch characters to get him going faster. He's moving more often. He's giving more evasion up to his team. There's also stealth mechanics here, which goes into another feat in another sector. But yeah, if you have OG Bad Batch built up, you're going to do just fine with a lot of their feats here. And yeah, evasion up here with this is not going to be a problem. You've also got the, let's see, what is it? You've got secret intel, and that one, also the defeating enemies with clone trooper units here. Like, I've got Wrecker Mercenary here because he does have some buffs here where he can give defense up to his team, and that's kind of helpful for another sector feat, but I just want to run a full Bad Batch squad here just to start getting going on those global feats. There's also Secret Intel, just a standard resistance team. You can bring in Rey, though I'm using her as my light side online force user for now. We'll see how things pan out. But you know, you can bring Ray up here to this, and you can use a Seer Junda lead for your light side online force users if you want to as well. But really, throw BB-8 on pretty much any team, really, and you're going to start getting the secret intel. This spreads out a lot while characters are using special abilities. BB-8's moving more often, so this one's pretty easy to get. Just kind of throw BB-8 onto any team if you want to. Resistance probably going to go a little bit quicker, but you can throw BB-8 on any team out there, get that secret intel going. It should not take long to knock out that feat. Now, moving on to our boss notes here. Really nothing special here. Win with 5 surviving, win with only dark side characters, win with Cal Kestis surviving, and win with Hunter Mercenary surviving. So this is one where you can throw in, like, this is where the light side online force user team again does help. Or what I like to do is use a Jedi Master Luke cheat here with this, where I've got Wat Tambor in there. Master Luke is taunting, and if I have undergeared characters, I can keep them hidden behind the taunts with Giant Master Luke and use the rest of the team to kind of knock things out. That's usually where I go with a team here. I can also use Leia Organa with her abilities. Kind of helps keep the other characters alive if I need them to survive. But really, Hunter surviving, there's pretty good ways with the Bad Batch squad, the OG Bad Batch squad as well. If you haven't built him up, you should be able to get this done with the OG Bad Batch. There's plenty of other good options out there. Rey's a really good option as well because it takes a lot for teams to, or for characters to die while under her lead. So those are pretty easy ones. The Cal Kestis 5s, that's all pretty good. Let's move on to Sector 2 here, and let's talk about what I've got going on here. Gain Hellsteel up 60 times, win 10 battles with at least 3 dark side clones in your squad, gain stealth 60 times, and win 20 battles without losing any units. Again, Bad Batch is going to come into play here. Bad Batch, they've got stealth. There's the Hunter stealth here with his lead. This is going to help kind of give, yeah, again, stealth and evasion up on Shrouded Approach. You're getting a lot of stealth with this. Also, the new Bad Batch squad gives a lot of stealth out during the fight. So you're going to get a lot of stealth between the 2 different Bad Batch teams. If you've got new Bad Batch built up, that's going to help cut through the stealth even quicker. Another good one is going to be R2-D2. Like, I've got Galactic Legend Leia down here. R2-D2 can give out stealth to pretty much the whole team. That's pretty easy as well. Stealth should not be an issue for anybody on your team. If you've got a good roster, you should be perfectly okay here. Win 10 battles with at least 3 Darkseid clones. I mean, if you've got Lord Vader with the clones here, we should be getting the Grand Moff Tarkin rework at some point. I'm hoping when Scorch drops, we'll get the Tarkin rework. And if you don't have Lord Vader, you can use Tarkin at that point. But as you can see here, I've got Lord Vader and Darth Vader for the damage over time effects, plus some other sector feats, plus the 3 Darkseid clones. So again, yeah, if you've got Tarkin, Tarkin should work pretty well. If you don't have Lord Vader, we're kind of waiting to see what that happens. His rework hopefully drops in the middle of Conquest, so this may be one you come back to once the rework's live for Grand Moff Tarkin. But okay, nothing too crazy there. And then win 20 battles without losing any units. That's really not too difficult. And then for one other sector feat here, the gain health steal up 60 times. There's 2 different teams I like using for this. Lightside Online Force users were already using them for feats here. Visas Mar, with her Dark Healing ability, will give health steal up for all enemy or all ally characters. That one's pretty easy. You also have Cal Kestis here with his basic. If he's at or below 75% health, he gains health steal up for 1 turn. Pretty easy stuff there, but really, the star of the show here is going to be Sith. You have a few different powerful Sith characters here. They're going to give health steal up to the team. So Sith Eternal Emperor, oh god, I chose the wrong one here. That is supposed to be Emperor Palpatine. You know what, we're going to create a new squad here. I just realized I picked the wrong Sith character here. So, man, they look too similar. I don't like it. So, Emperor Palpatine, with his abilities here, with Let the Hate Flow, he is able to give all allies health steal up for 1 turn. You also have Darth Traya, and you also have Darth Bane. So Darth Traya, with her Isolate ability here, whenever an ally attacks an isolated character, those allies then gain health steal up. So you have this going here, characters damaging this unit gain crit damage and health steal up for 1 turn. Okay, perfect. You also have Darth Bane here. Throw Darth Bane in if you've got him. It is under Essence of Dominance. It is, yeah, right here. Essence of Dominance, Sith allies gain health steal up, offense up, and speed up for 2 turns. So those 3 characters together, use them with some kind of Sith team going. You know what? Screw it, we're going to throw Sith Eternal Emperor in here as well. You know what? We could have just used the Sith Eternal Emperor lead here with Palpatine. And, you know, we'll throw in Darth Maul for good measure here. And we'll just call this Health Steal Up. And boom, there you go. You got your Sith Health Steal Up. We can go ahead and we can get rid of that. And there we go. We got this all the way down here at the bottom, Health Steal Up. You got a bunch of Sith characters there. They're really going to give you some Health Steal Up on your team as well. So a couple other things. Mini boss, win with a full squad of clone trooper units. Use the full OG Bad Batch squad, or bring in like Captain Rex. Use his lead with the original Bad Batch characters. That should be pretty easy. Win a full squad of Empire units. Grand Moff Tarkin, Darkseid clones, Lord Vader. Even Inquisitors will also work for this. It's a pretty good squad of Empire units. Defeat an enemy with a Spectre attacker. Use Fulcrum Ahsoka, and any team use Fulcrum Ahsoka on a light side unaligned Force user. You get a win for your light side UFU team at that point. Defeat an enemy with Darkseid Vision Rey. This is one where I mentioned last week. If you are using Rey with a Darkseid Vision or with First Order, ideally you don't want to use a Supreme Leader Kylo Ren lead with that, because Kylo just keeps going and just wipes out the enemy team. You never really get a chance for Rey to move. So this is where you may want to use a Kylo Ren on mass lead, get Slacker out of there, put Darkseid Vision Rey into that First Order team, and that's probably going to work pretty well for you at that point. You can also try a Sith team as well. There are some Sith teams you can pull out there as well, and we'll get to Sith teams here eventually as well. Like Darth Bane and Darkseid Vision Rey could work. You know, the two of them could be pretty good. We'll see how that pans out, but yeah, that one may be a little tricky because her damage output for being an attacker is pretty low, but yeah, we'll there's ways around. There's pretty easy ways to cheese that. Moving on to Sector 3, defense up 60 times. We already talked about it, OG Bad Batch. Throw Wrecker in, you get defense up. Win 15 battles with Darth Vader surviving. I'm going to skip this one, and you'll see why here in a second. Gain 400 stacks of target practice. We'll talk about that with Bad Batch. And then win 14 battles with no attackers in your squad. So I'm skipping Darth Vader surviving here because this means I have to spend 29 battles at least to get both this with Vader surviving and win 14 battles with no attackers in your squad. That is a lot of battles for one sector. That is very inefficient. I can afford to lose out on the 10 points here. Now, other players may not be able to, but for me, I can. So I'm going to skip this one for now. If I'm able to knock it out easily and I find some other feats to be a little more troublesome, I may circle back to this one. But that's a lot of battles for Vader to survive when you also have to win 14 with no attackers. That's some really bad overlap. I was joking about that last week. I would love to know who decided to put those two feats together in the same sector. Very unfortunate. Gain 400 stacks of target practice. So this one's pretty easily. You take your Bad Batch squad, you take your OG Bad Batch team if you don't have them built up, and you literally just throw an Omega lead in, and then you just put your old Bad Batch characters in. All you have to do really is just get the lead here with Omega, because this is where they're getting target practice. Because they're attacking enemies that were attacked in the previous turn by Bad Batch characters, and each character is going to get in stack of target practice. So really, you're getting 5 stacks of target practice per turn. So this will go pretty quickly. You really only need to get 80 stacks in total on one character. If everybody survives, that's 80 stacks across 5 members. That's 400 stacks of target practice. This should not be too difficult. You're going to get a handful of attacks in. This is going to be easier with the new Bad Batch. There's more synergy here with target practice and everything. But there's no reason why you should not be able to get it with the old Bad Batch team. So that's going to be pretty good to knock out. Win 14 battles with no attackers in your squad. I mean, there's pretty good support and tank characters out there. This one should not be too difficult to figure out. The data discs, we don't know what they are yet, but data discs are probably just going to make this easy too. There's really nothing to worry about here. Win with Omega Fugitive surviving. You can use this in conjunction with the 400 stacks of target practice. Defeat an enemy with Apo. We already talked about the Darkseid clone troopers with Lord Vader and Darth Vader. Defeat an enemy with Apo. Apo does a lot of damage. So if you've got him relicked up, you should be able to knock this out. Only 2 points. If you can't do it, that's perfectly fine. That's not too bad of a point penalty. Win with Captain Enoch in your squad. He does not have to survive. He just has to be there. And win without using any support units in your squad. So tanks and attackers, throw that in there. Pretty easy 4 points. Moving on over to Sector 4, attempt to inflict tenacity down 50 times. So if you've got Leia, this is going to be pretty easy. The Rebel Army Knife, as I like to call them, a lot of tenacity down with just 2 characters here. Leia's log move can put tenacity down on the entire enemy team. You also have Captain Rex as well, where Captain Rex can use his suppressing fire, also apply tenacity down to the enemy team. So at least, yeah, that's going to be pretty easy to get with those 2 characters. Light Side Unaligned Force users here, which I haven't talked too much about yet, but we're going to start talking about them a little bit more. Cal Kestis, I've mentioned, and like using Bad Batch for some other things. Cal Kestis can apply evasion down, speed down, and tenacity down with his not so fast ability. He also has his persistent unique here, where he's able to gain defense up to him and allied unaligned force users with this when he gets to 20 stacks of persistence. Also, I should have mentioned Seer Junda as well. Her force barrier will give defense up to unaligned force user characters as well. So both Seer and Cal can knock out defense up pretty quickly as well, along with Bad Batch. That's not going to be too difficult. Again, we've got Ahsoka Tano Fulcrum here you can throw in to get that Spectre Attacker feat done in earlier feats. So a pretty good look there so far. Not a lot of teams you have to worry about too much with this. Then you get to inflicting Death Mark 10 times. So Death Mark is going to be interesting. And one I actually don't think I put in here yet. I have not. I was working on this earlier. So Sith Empire with, you basically take like Revan, you put Basilisk Shawn in, you put HK-47. These 3 characters on their own are really going to help you knock out a lot of feats. You have Darth Revan's ability where he's able to apply Death Mark on the enemy leader turn if an enemy falls below 50% health. So that's going to be a pretty easy way of getting Death Mark. Basilisk Shawn here with her Fear ability is able to apply crit damage down, evasion down, and and stagger for 2 turns. So that's gonna help you knock out those different feats. You also have HK-47 with his grenade ability, his havoc ability, applies tenacity down to the enemy team. So you're gonna get the Death Mark, you're gonna get the tenacity down going for this team. That's all gonna be pretty easily knocked out here. Basilow with the stagger and the crit damage down, you're double dipping here. You're getting those Death Marks. Sith Empire team is gonna get you pretty good progress here in Sector 4 with those feats. Then you have Win 15 Basil Batcher surviving. Throw Batcher into the OG Bad Batch team. Shouldn't be too much of a difficult thing here. This one may be a little trickier for certain players if they really have not worked on Batcher at all. Batcher could be difficult to keep alive, but again, if you have to, throw her under Rey or Jedi Master Luke with that Wat Tambor. Get that taunt going, and you should be okay here. And then gain a bonus turn 50 times. Now, this is where I actually like using the Jedi Master Luke team. You know, we're just gonna throw a couple more characters in here. We'll throw Malgus and Malik, and we'll just save that for now. The bonus turns. So 3 characters here get a lot of bonus turns. Jedi Knight Cal Kestis makes the bonus turn feat so easy. If you have him, he's getting bonus turns all the time. Lots of bonus turns here. You have Grandmaster Yoda with his Master Stroke ability, gets bonus turns here. He moves pretty quickly already because of the way he gets buffs and turn meter with his basic and everything. Jedi Master Luke is able to help kind of speed up this team as well, giving bonus turn meter a lot. Wat Tambor also gains a bonus turn at the start of the match. So those 3 characters there under Jedi Master Luke really get some nice bonus turn synergy going. Another one here, and why I'm also skipping Lord Vader in Sector 3, is Darth Vader with his Merciless Massacre gets a lot of bonus turns too. So Darth Vader, Jedi Knight Cal Kestis, those 2 characters alone really trivialize the bonus turn feats. Those make bonus turn feats very easy, just those 2 characters. And you need to get a lot of damage over time effects going as well. So you've got this going here with Lord Vader and Darth Vader. You're getting the damage over time effects going here. You're getting those bonus turns. Sectors 3 and 4 are probably where you're going to be spending most of your time with Darkseid, with your Lord Vader, Darkseid clones, and Darth Vader. That's pretty much where you're going to be spending most of your sector feats with these 2 characters, just to kind of knock things out. There's a bit of a grind with these 2 sectors, but this shouldn't be too difficult with these 2 characters. You should knock out those feats in no time at all. So that's kind of where we're at with Death Mark and with bonus turns. That's all pretty good stuff, and I believe that means we get to move on to the mini boss and the boss sector here. Win with Darth Vader and Lord Vader surviving. We just talked about that. You know, get the bonus turns, damage over time. Easy enough. Win with Hu Yang surviving. Throw him under the Jedi Master Luke. Cheat if you have to with that. Get the taunt going. You can throw him in under Leia. Rey again if you need to, but that means you're spending a lot of energy on a not light side user, light side Ufu team. Defeat an enemy with Jocasta new. This one, I'm going to unlock her like halfway through this conquest. I didn't quite reach red box on one of the last conquests, but I should be able to get her unlocked. And at this point, all you really need to do is get Jedi Master Luke or some team that's going to help really call a lot of assists with her and give her a lot of extra damage. And this should not be too easy or too difficult. And then win with a full squad of Bad Batch. Overlaps here with the global feat. Pretty easy. New Bad Batch, old Bad Batch. You should be able to knock that out. Then we get to Sector 5. Now, attempt to inflict evasion down 60 times. So, the one I love to use with this is just 3PO and Chewbacca on any Rebel team. I've got him here with Leia. You can throw him in with the CLS team as well. 3PO and Chewie constantly assist, and when they assist, they apply evasion down. That's a pretty easy way for me to get that. That's really what I use for evasion down. I just grind away. I use him on different teams. He assists. He attempts to apply the evasion down. You don't have to land it. You just have to attempt it. That's really the only character I use for evasion down, because that's really all I need. Inflict Mark 25 times. So Mark is going to be a little more interesting, and this is where things can get a little crazy what you can do with this. So we talked about Jedi Master Luke here. You can also bring in Jedi Knight Revan with this. Jedi Knight Revan can apply a mark on him. The one that I've seen that seems really, really interesting, and I'll just show it here, because I never thought it would actually work, because I thought you had to apply it to the enemy team. But what I've seen people do is use Emperor Palpatine and then also use General Grievous together here. And what Emperor Palpatine does is use his Let the Hate Flow. He steals maximum health from other allies here, and General Grievous then falls low on health. And once that happens, he is able to then apply mark to the other healthiest allied droid character until the end of the turn. So every turn, he's applying mark again and again. So you throw him in with a couple other Separatist characters here. You give him, like, let's see, yeah. We'll give him B2, we'll give him B1, and we'll give him Magna Guard. And this is going to help you knock out the Mark feat in no time at all. Use the Let the Hate Flow with Palpatine. Boom. Steals Grievous's health. And then he's just applying Mark endlessly. As long as Grievous doesn't heal back up, you shouldn't have an issue here. That's going to help knock out a lot of marked feats just on these characters here. Maybe you'll even win some battles along the way too. But also Jedi Knight Revan will help knock this out too. As well as the new Bad Batch team, because there are marked effects with Bad Batch. Both Batcher and Hunter Mercenary can both apply marks with their mechanics here. Hunter Mercenary with his Take a Shot applies mark. You also have the Piercing Howl with Bad Batch that also applies mark. So between new Bad Batch, Emperor Palpatine, and Grievous, plenty of that stuff going on. Also Jedi Knight Revan, plenty of mark. This one should not be difficult. Inflict Order 66 10 times. This one is where you're going to have a Zeta. In my opinion, you're going to need a Zeta on Apo, or you got to make sure your dark side, your disguised clone trooper is built up pretty well. And what you're going to have to work on here is you have Lord Vader and Darth Vader applying dots. The no witnesses with Apo, with the amount of dots you got flying around the enemy team, this should not be too difficult to get. He has to have 8 or more dots on the enemy team. So you can get Lord Vader really quick or really fast, get a lot of dots out on the enemy team with Lord Vader, put out lots of dots. Then you have no witnesses here. The other way that should be pretty reliable with this, as well as Disguised Clone Trooper, you can use Apo's first special to stun an enemy target. And then if they are stunned and you have Disguised Clone Trooper here, use his basic, he inflicts Order 66 for 2 turns. So there are ways around this. If you don't have the Dark Side clones built up, this one you probably are going to skip. That's a lot of Order 66. It's going to be difficult if you don't have them built up, because you got to make sure they're going to survive long enough to apply it. And unfortunately, we don't have the Datacron that we can use inside of Conquest. So this one's going to be very difficult if you don't have clones built up. So then you get to the feat of inflicting mark 25 times. Now, this is one I didn't think of originally, and someone mentioned it to me, and I was like, oh, I didn't think that would work. For me, I always assumed you had to apply a mark to the enemy team. Well, not necessarily. You can actually cheese this pretty easily with a combination of Emperor Palpatine, General Grievous, and then throw in some Separatist droids. And what happens with this is you use Let the Hate Flow from Palpatine. He steals max health from all units, and what happens then is the Metalloid Monstrosity unique triggers with Grievous, where if he is below 100% health and starts inflicting marked on the healthiest droid ally until the end of his turn. So this is going to happen every single turn. He's just going to keep inflicting mark over and over again. This should knock it out pretty easily. I don't see any reason why this would not take long at all. This should be pretty easy. You use it, you cheese it up. That's not too bad at all. And then you can also use the new Bad Batch if you need to. The new Bad Batch, they've got different marked mechanics. Both Hunter Mercenary and Batcher have ways of applying mark. You have Take a Shot here, mark through Hunter Mercenary, and the Piercing Howl through Batcher as well can also apply a mark here. So you've got a couple different mark mechanics there. If you've got the new Bad Batch built up, this should not be difficult, but already Palpatine and Grievous should be able to cheese this mechanic pretty easily, and then bring in Jedi Knight Revan with the Jedi team if you need to. That should also probably knock it out pretty easily. So moving on from that, we have inflict Order 66 10 times and then win 14 battles with full squad of Empire units. So this is where you're going to have some nice overlap with Lord Vader and Darkside clones, and if you do not have your Darkside clones built up, I do not expect this to work. This is going to be very difficult for you because it takes a lot to inflict Order 66. This is where Darth Vader is going to help kind of make it easier for this team, especially with Apo. And Apo's kind of the gateway to how you can easily apply Order 66. You've got two different methods with this. If you can get Vader faster than Apo, and you have him use his AoE, along with Lord Vader using his AoE, this should not be too difficult to kind of get those dots going. You can also use a Darth Vader lead instead of Lord Vader, because Darth Vader's lead is going to help keep bringing those damage over time effects coming back. So that is going to be very helpful here with Lord Vader. They keep those damage over time effects, and then you use the No Witnesses special. You will need the Zeta on this if this is what you want to go for. You use this Order 66 if they have 8 or more damage over time effects on them. That should kind of help knock this out pretty quickly. Another method you can use is the Nightfall special. This will stun an enemy target where you do want to build up potency on him. You can see I'm running like 84% potency on this dude. And then use this with Disguise Clone Trooper, where he uses his basic. If the enemy target is already stunned, Disguise Clone Trooper can apply an Order 66 as well. So Darth Vader lead instead of Lord Vader lead here, with applying those damage over time effects, keep them going on the enemy team, use the AoEs from both Vaders. This should be pretty easy to get Order 66, but it requires to have your clones built up. They have to survive long enough to be able to use those abilities. So if you don't have the clones built up, I don't think this one's going to work for you too well, because of just how difficult it's going to be to get to the point where you can inflict Order 66 and then win 14 battles with a full squad of Empire units. Really, there's plenty of them here. If you're already going for the Vader team here with the clones, this should be pretty easy, but really, the easiest one here is going to be Inquisitors. If you have Inquisitors built up, if you got Reva, this should not be difficult. That's gonna go pretty quickly for you. Inquisitors are fantastic inside of Conquest, especially if we get the weak spot data disk back. Oh man, I love using Inquisitors with the weak spot data disk, but really, that one should not be too difficult. Inquisitors are gonna run ham with it. Even without Reva, this should not be too difficult either, because they're building up so much purge on the enemy team, especially with that weak spot data disk. If it does come back, this Inquisitors is just easy mode, no matter what lead you use there. So that's it for the feats there, except for the boss feats. And what do we have for the boss feats? I believe we have, win with Legend Ahsoka Tano, which I'm not going to get. Win the battle with no takes in your squad. So the Lord Vader team that I mentioned earlier, that should be pretty easy. That can knock it out. Inquisitors, you're going to have to make sure you don't use Reva or Ninth Sister. Both those can go pretty well and get you some progress on your Empire unit match there. Defeat an enemy with Balin's Skull. I don't have Balin, so I'm not going to be able to get that feat. And then win with Crosshairs, Scarred, Surviving. Again, throw them into a team that you're going to have that's going to give the surviving feat here. That's pretty self-explanatory at that point. So that's really what we've got here for this with the feats. Let me know down below what you guys are using. Do you guys have questions, concerns, comments, thoughts, ideas? Any teams you think I should try bringing up for Conquest next time? You guys think I missed something here? Let me know down below. As always, if you guys have enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys next time.